Hi students! So I just wanted to send you a video, mostly just to check in, see how everything's going. Also so you could see my office, see all my books. It's so exciting. But the other reason that I wanted to do a video is to talk to you a little bit about tools in terms of things writers should have, particularly books. Um, so I have a stack full of books here that I'm going to talk a little bit about, and then I will just say goodbye for now. So video one, okay? All right. So first of all, if you're going to be a writer, you need to read certain craft books. And what a craft book is it's a book that talks about the craft of writing creatively, because writing creatively is different from writing academically, right? So, where in a composition class you might get a reference book, or you might get um, some sort of documentation book. In creative writing classes, we talk about certain craft books. So I'm going to go through the books that I've read and talk to you about why I choose them. And then that'll give you some idea. Also, this should answer some of your questions from the syllabus discussion thread. So here we go. All right, so first of all, this is called Imaginative Writing by Janet Burroway. This is the third edition, although there might be a fourth one now. I can't remember. They kind of update it every few years, so I bet there is a fourth one by now. Anyway, Imaginative Writing, The Elements of Craft, is really a good overall creative writing textbook. It's not specific to short story or to fiction. It talks about poetry, it talks about drama, nonfiction, and fiction. So it's a really good overhaul of um, the craft of writing creatively in whatever genre. Again, imaginative writing, really good. All right, I've taught this in creative writing courses before. For short story, which is what we're taking, I suggest, oh, can't really see that. This is Rust Hill's Writing in General and the Short Story in Particular. It's really good. As you can see, I've got all sorts of stuffs here. This one I annotated in the margins. This one was a little bit smaller, so I just used tabbies, but and then took notes afterwards. I really liked this one, and I actually read this one as part of my MFA program that I'm currently doing. Right, I'm writing short stories too. Yee! Okay, back to books. So I really suggest this one. It was better over here, huh? It was really helpful to read, and it took the information in this book and focused it on fiction, but short story in particular. Totally suggest this. Another one that's really great for writing fiction, long and short, is the Gotham Writers Workshop. Which side was it that was better? Okay. Gotham Writers Workshop Writing Fiction, the Practical Guide from New York's acclaimed creative writing school. Again, you can see all of my tabbies all over the place. Each one means something different, and that doesn't matter. But I really enjoyed this one. This one was large enough that I could tab and make notes inside of, so I liked that quite a bit. It was very helpful for thinking about fiction generally. Okay? And then, of course, if we're talking about books about the craft of writing, yes, Stephen King's On Writing, a memoir on craft. This is really handy. You should totally have it in your writer's toolbox. It also has, like the first half is a memoir of an experience he had, and it's really very powerful and beautiful. And then the second half is the tips and the information on the craft of writing. So if you have not read this, like do that this weekend, okay? For those of you, it seems like a lot of you are into sci-fi and fantasy. I do also suggest The Fantastic, a structural approach to a literary genre. It's a little bit dated, but it's still very good. And in addition to that, like The Uses of Enchantment by Bruno Bettelheim. I don't know. I'm not very good at names. So The Uses of Enchantment. Again, it's a little dated, but the information is super duper helpful. Okay? And then there's one more. Yeah, I have it here. Again, for writers of fantasy, it's called The Writer's Guide to Fantasy Literature. It's kind of a like, you know, a dummy's guide to writing fantasy, except for it's written by someone who actually knows what they're talking about and has studied it. So it's really handy too. And then, of course, you should have dictionary, thesaurus, uh, you know, reference books like that, encyclopedias. They can absolutely be electronic. They don't have to be hard copies, but certainly have that. And then lastly, and I put this in the syllabus, man, no writer's life is going to be complete without The Elements of Style by Strunk and White. I've read this book so many times, and every time I read it, it's super helpful. So these, again, The Elements of Style, The Writer's Guide to Fantasy Literature, The Uses of Enchantment, The Fantastic, On Writing, Gotham Writers Workshop, Writing Fiction, Writing in General and the Short Story in particular, and Imaginative Writing. These are all super great resources to have. I go back to these all of the time. So, definitely check out some or all of those. A lot of them have electronic versions, so if you're an ebook reader, you have access to that. Most of them are pretty affordable, maybe with the exception of Imaginative Writing, because it's technically a textbook. So that one might be a little bit more expensive, but the others should be between $10 and $30 a piece. Which I understand is a lot of money, but it's worth it for sure. And I know you can find a bunch of these at used bookstores, at Half Price Books, so check out all of those. Okay, so video number 1, all about the books that you should think about reading if you want to be a writer. It'll help, I promise. All right, so happy discussion boarding. Next week we start Unit 1. I'm so excited. I also wanted to let you know that often I am going to be taking part in the writing activities, so you get to see some of my writing too. Not always, but some. And I think that's it. If you guys need me, email me at rclapper@dvc.edu or through Canvas, or you can remind text me for those of you who have joined. Those who haven't, I highly encourage it, but of course you don't have to. And of course you can always come up to my office, faculty offices, or FO 116, or you can call me at 969-925-2410. All right, I will see you guys soon, and happy writing. Peace out.